All right. Hello, everyone. Peace of Christ to all. We just started our time with you for now. Uh, I decided to do it actually now because there's many who live in Europe or who live in like in Asia, etc. They are not always able to be with us because we do it in a good time for America. So I hope that soon we will have more people who will join us. And today our topic simply is about Quran, or what is called the amazing Quran. The Muslims, uh, they say and they claim that the Quran is an amazing book. Now this is what they say, right? And in the Middle East we say the monkey in the eye of his mother is an angel, is a super beautiful. Uh, so we want to today examine if what the Muslims see is a monkey, but they think he is an angel, or what they see is truly something really beautiful, but we are maybe blind, we do not see. Uh, the claim of Muslims is very simple. And by the way, if you have a question, if you want to share with us, you can click at the it says be part of the conversation. All right, so you can ask questions. However, if you could not, please post your question in Facebook. Depend in which Facebook page you are using. We have the one for everybody, and we have the one for Asia, which is called Islam in Depth Philippines. I made this page a long time ago, actually not very long, especially for Asian in the Philippines, so they can ask questions. So if you have any question about our topic, just let me know. If you could not ask the question here, I mean in Hangout, you can simply post your question in Facebook page, in the main page. Don't post it to me in the email. All right. Let everybody see your question. Doesn't we are not we don't have secret questions, do we? So post your question simply in the main page, like Islam for Dummies, or the other one, Islam in Depth Philippines. You can post it in Facebook, or you can post it here right away, and I will see your question. Actually, I prefer if you can do it here in Hangout. Simply, all what you need to do is just to click at the side of the conversation here in Hangout, and you will be able to see the option which simply says be part of the conversation. So if you could not ask the question here, you could not log in for some reason because it happened before, then feel free and post the question, please, in Facebook. And remember, post it if you want to post a question in Facebook. Post it in the main page, not in email. All right. Email is just an email. Like if you have a private question for me, something that's different story. But as long as the topic is for everybody, then let us keep the question for everybody, so everybody can see the benefit of it and can enjoy the answer at the same time. Now, is it truly that Quran is a book which nobody can make like it? When the Muslims come with this, let us say, challenge. It's a challenge. Simply, the challenge saying, can you make Quran like this? Now, I don't know how smart the one who made this challenge. For me, I don't see any intelligence there, for very simple reason. The challenge is about what? Is it about language? Is it about science? Is it about you know it's about what? You know, I'm just trying to find out. Islam, when Muslims they make a challenge about the Quran, the challenge is about what? If it's about Arabic, it's very funny and very stupid to say, I challenge you to make Quran like it in Arabic. This is challenge only for the Arab or for the non-Arab. If this challenge only for the Arab, I can say to Allah a very simple answer. I challenge you to make any poetry like any poetry is made by the Arab. You know, the top 5 poetry men in the history of Arabia are Arab Christians, in case you do not know. Maybe this is a surprise to you. The top 5 miracles, I mean, we call, in Arab we call it miracles because nobody really can do like those guys. Nobody can do like them when it comes to Arabic. So it's very naive, it's very funny to make, because now if I make a Quran like the Quran of the Muslims or the Quran of Muhammad, who is the one who will decide if my Quran is better than the Quran? The Muslims? Do you think the Muslims will be fair in this judgment? I'm sure the Muslims will not be fair. Like wherever you do, they will say to you that, you know what, it's not even close, right? You cannot really, you cannot make Quran like this. So you show them that you can, and then whatever you do, they will say no, it's not really accurate, it's not correct, and there's mistakes there, and you know, it's impossible. You cannot do it. So here we have a dilemma about how we can prove to Muslims that the argument they come with is stupid. So this is what we will do today. We will prove to the Muslims before the Christians that the argument they are making is very stupid. I'm not insulting, by the way. Don't think I'm insulting. It's a very stupid argument. So the Quran says clearly that you cannot make Quran like this. I will make the text big. All right. So we can show you why this argument is funny and stupid. This is chapter 2, verse number 23, and this is what the Muslims they use to say to us, well, the Quran, Allah our God, he made a challenge. In kuntum fi raybin mimma nazzalna ala abdina, if you are like if you have a doubt about how legitimate what Muhammad received, well, you know what, bring one surah like it, and they bring your witnesses if you are truthful. So we will go to the translation. You can choose any translation. As I said many times before, Muslim translation is not good to be accepted for the lack of honesty, the lack of dignity. You know, Muslims have no dignity. So when they translate, they are not truthful. I hope the screen is showing very well. All right. So look what the verse is saying. And if you are in doubt as to what we have revealed from time to time to our servant, which means to Muhammad, then produce surah like those surahs. Can you? Can you? You cannot. And this is supposedly what the Muslims claim to be a miracle, because if this is a book from God, not from God, anyone can make a book like it. Now what I will use today as a method to prove that this argument is very funny and very stupid, I will refute Muslims as usual by using their own Quran. By what? By their own Quran. I'm not going to use, because I can make Quran right now better than the Quran of Allah, and still the Muslim, it doesn't matter, they will say, oh, it's not good. Don't ever accept a Muslim to say, oh, your Quran is better. All right. So how we can prove this to the Muslims? How we can put like let's say a barrel of ice and water in the top of a Muslim who dream about how wonderful the Quran, because you know the Muslims, they've been told a lot about how wonderful the Quran is, especially those who don't speak Arabic. And you know the Muslim, they sing the Quran, and if you sing anything that will make it nice, right? Music is beautiful, right? So they bring for you guys who have a beautiful voices, and they play the Quran for you, and you know you are listening, like it sounds like an Eastern music, you know, it's like, you know, but the Quran itself is very ugly and very disgusting. Not only the meaning, it's ugly, sometimes the meaning is very silly and very stupid. But because you do not know Arabic, so you will act like a cobra snake. You know the cobra snake? Shake with the stick, but not with the music. The Muslims, they shake with this music, but not with the stick. Anyway, don't forget, if you have a question for me regarding this topic, please, you can click at the video. It says be part of the conversation or the topic, and you can ask me your question if you have any. So now, how we can prove this to be false? If we go back up in the page again, I hope you guys, you will take your reference and you will take notes. This is a chapter 2, verse number 23. I'm going to use the same chapter to prove that this is a stupid argument. Do you believe it? I'm not going to go even to different chapter. I'm not going to go to the Bible. I'm not going to go to the Arab Christian poetry. No, no, no. There is no need, because you have to give something the Muslim himself cannot play with. Cannot play with. So we start here from verse number 2, chapter 106. In chapter 2, verse 106, and we will go to the translation. Look what Allah himself, because supposedly the one is talking, supposedly Allah. So I'm assuming that the one is talking really Allah. Huh? I'm not going to say this is Muhammad or someone else. I will say it's Allah to make the Muslims happy. All right. None of our revelation, none of our revelations do we abrogate or cause to be forgotten, but we substitute something better or similar. Interesting. The verse before, Allah challenging us to make Quran better than his Quran, but now Allah himself is making a challenge to himself to make Quran better than his Quran, and he is working in it. Because look what he's saying. None of our revelations do we abrogate. So what Allah is doing, he abrogate. Now what the reason for abrogation? Or cause to be forgotten. Okay, what is the reason to cause it to be forgotten? There's a reason. Let us see what the reason. But we substitute something better. Allah will make Quran better than his Quran. That's a good one. Allah is going to make a Quran better than his Quran. Like, come on. Like now we have two tables. In the right table we have Allah number 1, and in the left table we have Allah number 2. Now Allah number 1, he make Quran, and then Allah number 2 make Quran, and then you will see who is making better Quran. And the one who make better Quran, his Quran is stay, and the one whose Quran is not good, we make it to be forget him. That is the most funny, stupid argument ever he can come with. Because if God is perfect, if God is perfect, and I think Muslim, they will say to us that their God is perfect. Don't you Muslims? Don't tell me Allah is not perfect. Come on. So if Allah is perfect, how come his first Quran is not good, so he will make second Quran it's better? Like what happened to Allah when he wrote the first Quran? He was not like he have a lack in sleep. Maybe he was drunk. He came late from party. He have headache. He drank too much beer, like beer, huh? And he made Quran. In the morning he woke up. Man, what this Quran is about? That's horrible. So let's change it. So Allah will make you forget the Quran which he made before, but he will make, hold on, he will make something better. Isn't it amazing? That is astonishing. And not only this, he will cause you to forget the bad Quran. That is really something, right? We need always to remember that logic is something Muslims don't have in their belief. And in here, even the normal logic is like it's really, there's a lack of logic. Yeshua is asking, isn't it Quran eternal, made from the beginning of the word? Yes. And here actually this will cause a dilemma about there's something in the Quran is called al-Lawh al-Mahfuz. So Allah supposedly he have a Quran which is reserved in a Lawh al-Mahfuz, which is a preserved tablet. All right. So if Allah preserving his Quran, then Allah he will cause you to forget the Quran, and Allah he will make Quran better than the Quran. So what that preserved tablet which is written from the beginning of time? I guess our friend here he's asking this question, which is very logical. You know, if Allah he wrote the Quran since the beginning of time, and this Quran is preserved in a board which is between the eyes of an angel. His name is Israfil. And the distance between the eyes of Israfil is the same distance between the two edges of the sky. This is how big he is. All right. And then he says to us in the chapter of Al-Buruj, which is chapter I believe 85, I think, verse number 22, that Allah he preserved the Quran in a preserved tablets. Then if you are saying to me, as we see in the screen, you are going to cause me to forget the Quran, what about the preserved tablet? And why you have a preserved tablet anyway if it's not final? Because obviously you are doing editing, you are going to do proofreading, you are going to do adjustment. So what the point of this tablet anyway? And you know what, when somebody says to us that God he preserved his book in a preserved tablet, he wrote it for himself, we need to ask ourselves first, why even Allah he have such a tablet? Like, you know, I write your phone number if you give it to me down because I need to preserve it for a very simple reason. I have a lack of memory. I'm a human being. My memory will suffer from lost. So if you give me the phone number right now, I will lose it. If you say something to me, I will forget it. So what we do, we write it down to preserve it. Like God, he wrote the tablet for Moses, but this was for Moses, not for God. In the case of the Quran itself preserved with Allah in a tablet, which is going to question the nature of Allah for me. Because if Allah is God, he do not need to preserve his words in a tablet, because simply he is not like us. He don't forget. Then what the verse is saying to us, that Allah is going to make something similar or better. So here we have another problem here. If we go back to the verse we mentioned, oops, we went out. Hold on. The problem here with, which we have, Allah will make something similar or even better. Now, we explained the better, that it is funny and stupid. But what about the similar? That's a very funny, stupid thing to say. And I will tell you why. Let us say I built for you a house, and this house have 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, big nice kitchen. And then one day I come to you, I say, you know what? I'm going to destroy your house and I will give you something similar. Isn't it stupid? Seriously? Hold on. If it is similar, why you want to destroy it? You know what I mean? If it is similar, why you want to destroy it? Again, guys, for those who they are reading with us, we are reading actually chapter 2 verse 106. All right, you can go to any translation you want, which all of it is false fiction translation. I don't accept any of them. All right, but always I use Muslim translation, so they cannot say, oh, he is playing with the translation, Yeah, but in my books you will notice I use both translation, mine and the Muslims. So when we see here, Allah says he will cause you to forget a verse, and then he will make something similar. Isn't it really stupid to do that? If it is similar anyway, why you want to cause us to forget it? Any Muslim can explain to me? If it is similar, why you want to cause me to forget it if it's similar? Like, I understand the point of better. Allah, he made Quran yesterday. He found that he is wrong in that Quran. He want to correct himself. He was drunk. It was hot, and he did not have watermelon around. So he made a bad Quran. So second day he want to make a better Quran. Okay, all right. But now Allah will cause you to forget the Quran, and after he causes you to forget the Quran, he will give you similar Quran. That is the most crazy thing ever I heard. I'm going to burn your clothes, I will give you similar clothes. So what the point? Why you are burning my clothes? To give me similar clothes. Again, if you have a question, guys, you can click at the video. There's an option that says be part of the conversation, and I will be happy to answer you. If you could not join, simply you can go to our Facebook page and you can post your question in the main page. All right, in case you have a question. So simply the argument Muslims they come with, which is saying, if you have or if you can provide Quran better than this Quran, it's a very silly, stupid argument. Because what the chapter 2 verse number 2-3 is already conquered by chapter 2 verse 106, because Allah himself saying there is a worse Quran and there is a better Quran. So Allah does the challenge even against himself. Now, for me, this is not really enough. Seriously, this is not enough. I wanna get more solid proof against the Muslim claim, because still this is not really it's not enough for me. All right. So what we will do now, how we can prove to this to the Muslims, because Muslims they say, oh, you know what, Allah here he abrogate the Quran, so he will make something, you know, you are taking it in literate way, etc. It is literate way. Allah saying it in literate way. And by the way, the real reason for Muhammad to make this verse here, that Allah will make Quran better than the Quran, or any verse he caused to be forgotten, because the prophet of the Abdul himself, he keep forgetting verses he mentioned before. So when they ask him to recite it again, he cannot remember. When he recited wrong. So what he do say, as an excuse for his false prophecy, he says, you know what, Allah caused me to forget, but Allah will give me something better or similar. You see, because how he can explain to you why he cannot recite the Quran twice correctly? The Muslim, they say to you, we recite the Quran by heart, right? This is false fiction. This is after 1400 years of repeating, you know, since you are a child. In the case of Muhammad himself cannot recite the verse twice. And the proof is just right in the front of our eyes. Why in the world God will cause anyone to forget his words anyway? Isn't it his word preserved? When you say to me, I'm going to cause you to forget it, so why you send it? And the funny, there is verses right now in the Quran is forgotten, which means no Muslims can remember them. But yet they practice the order of those verses, but they cannot remember the verse. As an example, you know, there is the verse of a breastfeeding for adult. Quran should have two verses at least for breastfeeding for adult. If you go here, let us see, we go, this is a story supposedly here about a man. He have sexual desire to a woman. So the woman, she came to the prophet, and here you see the story here, really funny, stupid, proving Muhammad to be a perverted man. He says the messenger of Allah, she came to him, this woman, her name is Sahla bint Suhail, all right, reported that Sahla bint Suhail came to Allah apostle, and she said to him, messenger of Allah, I see in the face of Abu Hudayfa signs of problems, you know, he's looking to me in a sexual way. So Muhammad, he gave her the answer. He said to her, suckle him. Now this suckle him is based in a chapter in the Quran. There is 10 suckling a Muslim woman she have to do to a strange man. 10 suckling until he is satisfied. Now look what the woman, she said to him. She said, how am I going to suckle him and he is a grown man? Allah Messenger said, I already know that he is a young man. It doesn't say that in the Quran, in the Hadith. Just to show you how Muslims they give false translation. Look, the first verse here translate, he is a growing up man. Do you see it? Do you see it? Well, this is in Arabic. It says, وَهُوَ رَجُلٌ كَبِيرٌ. He is an old man. He is not a kid. In the second line translation, because they are ashamed of it, look how they translate it. I already know that he is a young man. The fact, you see, look with me in Arabic, you will see the same sentence. إِنَّهُ رَجُلٌ كَبِيرٌ. It's exactly, you see it? The one in the top? You see it? This is why I say always, don't ever trust an Islamic translation. Hypocrite, liars, deceivers. Don't ever. Like, to trust an Islamic translation, you have to be really like a fool. it's not smart to do so. All right. By the way, I'm using this account today, the other account in Facebook. Please subscribe. I did not use the other one. So subscribe to this one, because this is in the future will be my official one. All right, we are trying to move the number of subscribers from other accounts to be here with us. So please subscribe, and don't forget to be like, so we can be updated always when we go on air or we post a video, etc. Now we go back to the topic. So there's verses in the Quran, they are gone, and the Muslim, they say to you that the verses are gone, they are forgotten, but their orders stay, which is very funny. Why somebody want to make a verse forgotten and keep the order of the verse? Okay, how you can, what do you mean follow the order of the verse? Like stoning to death. Stoning to death is gone from the Quran. We cannot find it in the Quran, but Muslims, they practice stoning to death. All right. Here, actually, let me show you this hadith here, just to show you that how Muslims, they lie in the translation. You remember in the other hadith, they say the translation, he is young. Does it say that? All right. Look what they translate here. She, Sahla bint Suhail, said, he has a haired? What a haired? What is that? In Arabic it says he have a beard. He have a beard. In the translation, it says فقالت إنه ذو لحية. إنه ذو لحية. He have a beard. In the translation they say he has haired. What is that? He have a beard. He have a long beard. This guy is a man. Unbelievable. Anyway, so those verses are gone, and we cannot find them no more. All right. And actually, you will see that later, this Aisha herself, she used to order her sister, as you see in this hadith here. She ordered her sister. All right, if you see with me here, she ordered her sister to give her breast to any stranger who want to get into her, which means the sister is sitting outside like she's her secretary. So let us say I want to go and see Aisha. The sister of Aisha, she will give me her breast, and I will suck it 10 different times until I am satisfied. I don't know what does that mean. And the funny, by the way, Muhammad is ordering a woman to give her breast to a stranger to cool him down. This guy is horny. I never heard of a woman, she gave him her breast, he calmed down. That's weird. That's not what will happen. A woman, she gave her breast to a stranger and he cooled down, and he liked her already, he want to have sex with her. That's the madness. And then you will see Aisha, she is ordering her sister that anyone who want to enter upon Aisha, he have to suckle from the sister of Aisha. All right. If we see here, look how the translation is false again. In here in Arabic it says يدخل عليك الغلام الأيفع. الأيفع, speaking about a young guy, not a boy. This is not a boy. Yafa in Arabic, we say Yafa for someone, let us say he is 16, 17, this is Yafa, like let's say he is he's almost like he's passing the teen age to be a man. This is why actually he's a man already. This is why it says in the other hadith that he have a beard. All right. So the sister of Aisha, she used to give her breast, so anyone want to enter into Aisha have to suck her breast. And here you see the verses are missing. Like if you read with me here, actually this hadith here is speaking about entering upon Aisha, but this is simply here for men with no question about it. Any man when I enter into Aisha, uh, he have to suckle from the sister of Aisha, which her name is Kulthum, the daughter of Abi Bakr. All right. So anyone when I enter to Aisha have to suckle from the sister of Aisha 10 times. Now where is the number 10 times coming from? Because simply this was a verse in the Quran, and now we cannot find it. And I am sure, like the Muslim, they say that a goat ate the verse. A goat ate the verse. And this is actually another problem for Muslims, because if the goat ate the verse, then how you say to me the Quran is preserved? I challenge the Muslim to show me where we can find the 10-time suckling verse and the 5-time verse of suckling, because later there is another verse came and the 10 became 5. The 10 became 5. So there is 2 verses, one verse for 10 suckling and one verse for for 5. But we cannot find the 10 verse, the 10 suckling verse, and we cannot find the 5 one. All right. So this is just additional proof of the fiction of the Quran, saying the Quran is preserved and the Quran nobody touch it, and the Quran, etc. Like if you search here for the hadith, uh, you see here, if you see here with me here, it's speaking about the 5 suckling. The one before it was speaking about 10 suckling. All right. So it became 5 suckling later. Now let us see here. This is the hadith here about the goat eating the Quran. A goat ate the Quran. If you read with me here, actually this story here mentioning 2 verses is missing from the Quran. Actually 3 verses. The verse of 10 suckling, a verse of 5 suckling, and the stoning to death. Look what it says. Again, guys, just to remind you, if you want to ask me a question, you can click at be part of the conversation, and you can post your question for me, and I will be happy to answer you. All right. And if you could not log in, you can post your question in Facebook. As simple as that. Our Facebook is in the info of the page. Okay. So if you have a question for me, feel free to post to. If you read with me here, it says the verse of a stoning and of a breastfeeding an adult 10 times was revealed. So what we have now, we have a verse of a stoning. This is a different verse, and there's a verse of a breastfeeding of 10. This is another verse. And the paper was under my pillow. Where the paper was? There was a paper under my pillow. Actually, I don't believe there's any kind of paper. At that time, there's no papers for this is Arabia. People, they use leather to write in it. The paper, I don't believe it. This is really weird to say a paper. Like in the middle of the desert, they have papers. Where? From where it's coming? Who is the one making papers? Like the Egyptian, they have, etc. But the Arab in Mecca, that's very hard to believe. Anyway, so it was under my pillow. When the messenger died, we preoccupied with his death, and then a sheep came and ate it. Okay, what? Hold on. Ah, the Quran is preserved, but the Muslims confirm to us that there's a goat ate the Quran. And remember here, the Muslim cannot say this hadith is weak. By the way, even the weak hadith is a good hadith, in case you do not know. All right, weak hadith and strong hadith, Muslims they play this game, but the fact all of them they pass and all of them they are okay. Uh, it just there is a grade of the hadith, you know. And actually, I like you if you want to search. There's a a sheikh. His name Imam Hamza. Just type Imam Hamza weak hadith next to it, weak hadith, and then you will see he is explaining to you that even the weak hadith is accepted in Islam. Is very accepted, not only accepted. However, this is not a weak hadith. This is a very approved one. It's Hasan. Hasan in Islam is mean fine. It's fine one. There's no problem with it. Uh, Here it says these verses were abrogated in recitation, but not a ruling. What do you mean? How you can abrogate a verse in recitation? You tell me. Okay, you know what? I have a challenge for the Abduls. Show me a verse. Show me a verse. It says because in order to abrogate them in recitation, you have to have an order says don't recite those verses no more. Can you show me a verse saying don't recite them? If there is verses in the Quran now we can jump over them. What do you mean abrogated in recitation? And look at the wisdom here. Abrogated by a recitation but not in ruling. So what the point? If you are going to follow it, why you abrogate them by recitation? What kind of abrogation? You abrogate the recitation? Okay, you want to do the ruling without recitation. How you can do that? How I can follow the law if the law is gone? Are you getting my point? How I'm going to follow it if there's no law no more? So obviously, the story here is nothing but a shish kebab to cover the problem the Muslims have. The Quran is messed up. There's one of two choices actually. Either the Muslims in purpose, because this is a shameful verses, they decide to take it from the Quran. They don't want to see those verses because it's speaking about women giving her breast to stranger. This is a shame. Nobody would accept that. Few years ago, when the dean of the Islamic University of Al-Azhar in Egypt, he made a fatwa that any woman she go in the bus, she have to feed everybody in the bus. She have to give him her breast to everybody. Otherwise, she is doing haram. Everybody go crazy. He said, why you are going crazy? This is what the Prophet said. Actually, this is Quran. This is Quran. As you see, abrogate the recitation, but not the ruling. Muslims they get upset because you know Muslims they like most of them they have no idea what Islam is about. Even those who speak Arabic, they don't know how stupid this religion is. Any question? I don't see any questions in the text, guys. Again, if you have any question, you can like uh, maybe people they don't know how to join the conversation. It's very simple. You click in the top of the video. It says be part of the conversation. You click there, and you can be able to post your question. And I am not sure if people they are posting in Facebook too. I mean, let me see if there's any post. All right. Okay, I don't see any post. I see an email. Let us go to YouTube to see if there is anyone have any post for us. Because last time, there's some people, they were trying to post on YouTube, but they could not. I don't know why. I mean, I'm not really sure what the problem. So let us do this. I will switch to YouTube page to see if there is any post there under the video. I see nothing there. Okay, let's go back. You see, I chose this time in purpose because usually, like, we have a lot of a viewer in certain time because people know exactly what time I go online. But today I decided to go in different times, so people who they are in Europe, they might be able to be with us and join us. All right. So here, yeah, I don't know. I can't see really any post. Anyway, now we will go to the method number 2 to prove that the Quran is not, like the challenge the Quran make is very stupid, because until now we have many, like we did not really mention everything. The Quran come with a challenge, which is to produce Quran like this, and we show you the first verse. However, in verse 17, chapter 17, verse number 88, the Quran says the genie and mankind, if they gather together to make a verse like it, they cannot do it. All right. If the genie and mankind together, they decide to come together and they decide to create Quran like this, there's no way they can do it. All right. And this is in chapter 17. Let us go. Chapter, isn't it chapter 17? Oh, my memory is not going good. I think chapter 17. I believe chapter 17, verse number 88. Let us see here. English. All right. Here we go. This is the interpretation by Jalalain in the Quran, chapter 17, verse number 88. Allah saying, verily should mankind and jinn and genie come together to produce the like of the Quran in terms of clarity and etc. and excellence, etc. But they cannot produce something like this. So Allah making a challenge that nobody can produce Quran like his Quran. Not only the challenge is for mankind, the challenge even for the genie. Now, who is the genie, by the way? Shaitan is a genie, just to let you know. Shaitan in Islam is considered as a genie. Now, you see, when a fool, he speaks too much, he hurt himself. Yeah, people, they in Hangout, you have to select a question and answer in the showcase. Select question and answer. If the showcase is on, I will turn it off. Is it on? Because supposedly it should be off. I'm not sure. I'm not really too much familiar with this Hangout, the showcase thing. All right. Yeah, if you are already, if you log in, be sure you click at a Q and A, which means questions and answers. You know, turn off the showcase. Be sure you are in a question and answer, and you can post your question. Thank you for telling me, Yeshua. All right. So Allah is making a challenge here, says that even genie and the human, if they gather together, they cannot make Quran like this. We will take this challenge into examination, and we will see how smart the one who come with it. I am not sure, guys, if you ever heard of something called the Satanic Verses. You heard of it before? There's a book written a long time ago, became very famous because the Al-Khomeini, he made a fatwa against the writer, which is Rushdie. The book is called the Satanic Verses. All right. In the Satanic Verses, simply, supposedly, Shaitan, he made Quran. The Shaitan, when he made the Quran, he came with the Quran, and he gave Muhammad Quran, and Muhammad, he did not notice that this Quran is not from Allah. All right. So Allah made a verse, says we are going to delete, we are going nansakh. All right. Now here, this is the chapter 2, verse number 106, where we spoke about Allah is going to delete, right? Allah is going to abrogate evil. We showed you that verses which used to be for breast adult feeding and stoning to death and etc. And then Allah, you know, he himself is changing himself, and Allah himself is beating himself, and Allah, he make Quran better than the Quran. And we showed you verses are missing and gone, and we showed you the verses are eaten by the goat. But now the story is different. The story here that Shaitan, when he gave verses to Muhammad, Muhammad did not notice. This is chapter 22, verse number 52. And you can read any translation, and as usual, I say always, translation of Muslims or fabrication is not true. Don't ever trust Muslim translation. But we can use it for the purpose of proving their false religion. So remember, Allah, he said that nobody can make Quran. Not only the mankind, even the genie. Shaitan is a genie. Time for some water. Shaitan is a genie, and this Shaitan, he gave Quran, and he made Quran. And guess what? Muhammad took the Quran, and he did not notice. What? Yes, Muhammad took the Quran, did not notice. Now, listen carefully. Who can be best judge for this is a Quran from God or not better than Muhammad? I mean, if today we are going to do the challenge Allah, he made, huh? Allah, he says, if you don't believe in Muhammad, make Quran like it. Who can be better judge for the Quran if it's from Allah or not? Muhammad. Nobody can be better than him. Supposedly he is the prophet who is the first one who received the Quran. He is the most one who knows the word of his God. He is the prophet of God, supposedly. But what happened in this story is something very stupid. Prove the Quran to be a stupid book made by a stupid God, and it's a fabrication and it's a scam. Because if the Quran made by Shaitan and Muhammad received it, and Muhammad recited, and Muhammad did not notice that this is not from God, that means the Shaitan Quran was better than the Quran of Allah. According to the story here, after Muhammad received the Quran, which from Shaitan, and simply, by the way, this is not about just receiving Quran from Shaitan. Muhammad even he bowed down to the idols. He was saying to worship the three daughters of Allah, which supposedly are pagans' idols. Muhammad went home, and after a few days, Muhammad received revelation, and this is the revelation he received: that whatever Shaitan he gave to you as Quran, I'm going to cancel it. All right. Whatever Shaitan he throw in your mouth of Quran, false Quran, I will take it off. But the question here, how Muhammad he received Quran from Shaitan, and Muhammad himself did not notice that this is not a good quality Quran? Like, this is madness. This is madness. Because if you see what the story happening here, it's not only the words. Muhammad he was saying it clearly, worship the three daughters of Allah. How come Muhammad did not notice that this is cannot be from God? Which mean here the quality is not only Arabic quality or structures of the sentence quality or a grammar quality. No, even the words, the teaching, it's against what he stands for. Supposedly he is teaching that you should worship the daughters of Allah. So if you go to the interpretation, chapter 22, verse number 52, and this is the interpretation here. We will make the text big so you can read with us together. We will try to go to the book of Asbab al-Nuzul. Asbab al-Nuzul is a book which is that doesn't present all the verses, only verses which have a reason, supposedly known reason why it came to existence. This book speak about it. All right. So according to the book of Asbab al-Nuzul, as you see in the front of your eyes, Muhammad was reciting the Surah An-Najm, the chapter of the star. When he arrived to the sentence where he says by the star, when it is stith, the messenger thereupon he recite Al-Lat, Al-Uzza, and Manat the third, and the other. The devil put in his tongue, he had secretly wished and hoped for, and said, these are the mighty Karnas, like the daughters of Allah, and their intercession is a must. So Shaitan, he put this in his mouth. Shaitan put all of this in his mouth, and Muhammad did not notice. And Muhammad went home, and Muhammad had no idea that this is coming from God. Like, didn't Muhammad notice that Allah and Al-Uzza and Manat are not to worship? Isn't Islam supposedly a religion of Tawheed, which means to worship Allah alone? So how he recites such a thing, saying, and the intercession of those three daughters of Allah is a must. In Arabic it says, وَإِنَّ شَفَاعَتَهُنَّ لَتُرْتَجَى. Their intercession, it's hoped to happen. We pray for them. And not only this, it says even that he bowed down. He bowed down. And those who they are witnessing are Muslims and non-Muslims. They are witnessing Muhammad reciting the satanic verses, and they bow down with him. And then Quraysh, the tribe of Muhammad, they were very happy. Muhammad is worshipping our gods. They were very happy. Look what the book here is saying. That evening, by the way, in some books it says took him 2 weeks. That evening, Gabriel or Jibril, peace be upon him, he went to the messenger, Allah bless him and give him peace, and he said to him, what you have done? Muhammad have no idea. The prophet of the Abduls, he have no idea what's happening. Are we listening, guys? The prophet of the Abdul has no idea. Okay, Madara, I will answer you after we finish this topic, I promise you. He have a question about how we can refute Muhammad to be not an illiterate man. That's easy. However, now, do you see the problem we have? Did you notice? How the Quran make a challenge to make Quran better than the Quran. And he challenged the mankind and the genie, and genie is a shaitan. And then we find Muhammad himself, he recited the Quran of shaitan and he did not notice. He went home, he have no idea what's happening. You know what I mean? That's crazy. Which means the Quran of shaitan was so good to the point Muhammad did not notice, even better than the Quran of Allah. So the angel of Allah later, he came to Muhammad, he said to him, hey, Prophet Abdul, brother, Dr. Zakir Naik came to Muhammad. Brother, what did you do, brother? Brother, how you throw the brother, huh? Brother, how you recite the brother? And Muhammad, like, what verses? Well, Muhammad, Habibi Muhammad, you know, come on, you know, Shaitan gave you those verses. Did you not notice? He bowed down to the idols, he worshipped the idols, he recited their names, asking for their intercession, and yet Muhammad have no idea. And the funny, the Abdul, they say to us, bring us Quran better than the Quran. If such a, this is a horrible thing happen here. It's not only the Quran can be made by anyone. Even saying such a crazy things can be accepted. And here is going to show us many stories actually, or let's say something behind the line here. The Muslims and the non-Muslims, they were watching. The non-Muslims, they were very happy and said, Quraysh said, they were happy with what they heard, that they said Muhammad has mentioned our idols with respect and worship. And they are praising Muhammad for doing that. So how Muhammad did not notice? Let us say if the Quran, the shaitan he gave to Muhammad was so good in Arabic to the point Muhammad did not notice. I will let it go. I will let it go. Which is going to prove that the Quran is false anyway, because you made a challenge to us to make Quran better than it. In which way? In Arabic, here we go. Muhammad received Arabic Quran from shaitan, it passed. This is number one. Muhammad received false teaching from shaitan, not only false Quran, which means this will affect the religion itself. Like it's not just Quran saying to him, pray to Allah and say mashallah, and after a prayer call Abdullah. Huh? It's not just in making some rap music. No, he gave him an order to worship the 3 daughters of Allah, which is idols. And Muhammad, he followed blindly, and he recited and he bowed down, and he did not notice. And this is how easy we can destroy the argument when Muslims they say, can you provide us Quran like the Quran? Well, already Shaitan he did, and Muhammad and your God Allah failed. And let me tell you what happened, guys, as I believe strongly what happened. Muhammad he is a hypocrite scammer. When he was praying, it was only people of Quraysh there. All right, and they were praying behind him. Like they say, some Muslims was there, but Muhammad maybe he said to himself, they would not complain. He is a prophet. Whatever he say, they will let it go. The news spread about what Muhammad did, and Muslims start complaining. This guy must be a scammer. He tell us we have to worship Allah. We should not to worship the Lat al-Uzza because there is a verse in the Quran about it. That Lat al-Uzza, you know, the daughters of Allah, Allah reject them. Allah refused to have 3 daughters. Sorry a minute, I think it's going to be here. Lat. It's not going to come. It's coming with all the sentences. Let's go here. What's happening? Let us see. Hold on. I think I need to clear my my history. Here we go. So Allah he says clearly, supposedly in different verses in the Quran, that Allah and Al-Uzza should not be recited and should not be worshipped. The daughters of Allah, Allah don't have daughters, and Allah upset here actually about because of their gender. Allah don't like to have daughters. He like to have sons. Because here and here, see this hadith is this verse is very funny. Allah says to them, do you see Allah al-Uzza and Manat the third? Are yours the males and his the females? Look at this guy. Allah is upset because the Muslims or the people of Quraysh, they took the males and they gave him the females. And then he says this is unfair, this is unjust. Very stupid argument. And then he said to us, can you make Quran better than this? So Muhammad he accept Allah al-Uzza, which already is rejected in the Quran. Muhammad he was teaching the Muslim we should not worship Allah al-Uzza, and then he recite that Allah and al-Uzza, it's a must to praise them and to ask them for intercession. Now I think with this we are done with this first topic, which is the major topic for us. Now we will go to the other question. Madara asking this question regarding how we can debunk the Muslims saying that Muhammad was illiterate. By the way, Muhammad was illiterate or not would not make any difference. Really would not make any difference, because if he was or he was not, still the Quran is a stupid book, as you see. But for us, we share the truth regardless what Muslim says. And by the way, Muslim scholars, those who have a great knowledge, they know Muhammad and they agree that Muhammad he knows how to write, how to read. Now let me show you why Muslims, you see there's a big distance between Muhammad and his followers today. You see the Quran and the life of Muhammad was not, or let us say even the interpretation of the Quran, there was no real interpretation, there was no real books about it, nobody explained the Quran. So there was a big time, like the hadith is collected more than 300 years after Muhammad's death. So there's a huge disconnect between Islam time when it started and Islam collecting what Islam is about. Like even the Muslim right now, they don't have original book of the Quran, not even one copy. You know, you remember when the Muslims, they were so happy about a page supposedly they found in the University of Birmingham in England. That page actually had nothing to do with the original Quran, because that page, the Arabic written there, it was with dots. If you look at me in the screen here, you will see the Arabic words have valves and dots and movement. Those we call them tashkil. The Arabic language at that time has none of those. There's no dots. You see those dots in the top here, in the top of the thing here, and those movement, they will not exist. So this is, must be written long after. However, even that paper is not the same as the Quran exists today. You can go and read and you will see it says very similar, but it's not the same. Even though that is not really it was an age for the Quran, it was an age for the leather. You see that the people before, because leather is expensive, like, we don't have papers like now, we just rip the paper and throw it in the garbage. At that time, to do that, you must be crazy, you must be filthy rich. So they used leather to write in it, and when they need the leather again, let us say you wrote in it a while ago, and what you wrote, you don't want it no more, just wash it. You wash it with water and you write again, etc. So the same leather can be used for hundreds of years. People, they inherit it, it doesn't damage. They write in it, and then the old writing, they take it off, and then they write again, and then later they write again, etc. This is why you see that piece of leather have many background writing in it. You can see it easy. So the age was the age of the leather. Actually, the age of the leather was even before Muhammad's birth. The age of the leather, not the age of the ink. Now, how we can prove Muhammad to be not illiterate? You see, the Quran used the word ummi, al-ummi, which means the unlearned. All right. And this is all those verses in front of your eyes speaking about that. You can take notes. As an example, chapter 7, verse number 157. This is a translation of the Muslims for this verse. Those who follow the messenger, the unlearned or the illiterate prophet. So here the illiterate is about illiteracy in the book of God. This is why you see the Quran call the Christians and the Jews the people of the book. People of the book. Muslims are not people of the book. If we go to chapter 2, I hope what's your name, Madara? I hope you are taking notes. I hope you are taking notes, all right? In chapter 2, verse number 78, the Quran gives us an answer for what ummi mean. You see, وَمِنْهُمْ أُمِّيُّونَ. The same word is used for Muhammad. Muhammad is ummi, a Rasul al-ummi. وَمِنْهُمْ أُمِّيُّونَ. Let us see what the translation says. You can take any translation you want. Look what the ummiyin is translated, as we say. And there are among them illiterates who know not the book. So who is the illiterate? Is those who do not know the book of God. Illiteracy, this is a religious book, not a book of science. So the illiteracy here is you about not knowing the book of God. So when somebody, like even the Hebrew people, when somebody is a rabbi, they say he is a learned man. Learned man means rabbi. All right, he's learned. The public are not learned because they don't have the whole knowledge. The scholars are the one called learned. So those who they are illiterate is those who do not know the book. Yet the Christians consider all the Christians and the Jews are people of the book. Why? Because we are learned about God already, and now it's time for the illiterate, the ignorant, who do not know God, and this is why the Quran called them illiterate. And Muhammad was one of them. Muhammad was not a believer. We can give you more reference. Let us show you more reference. So we finish with first one, all right, chapter 2 verse number 78. In chapter 3 verse number 20, we will see again the same story to confirm what we said. And as you see here, this is supposedly Allah is arguing with the people of the book, people who've been given the book, all right. But if they say, if dispute with you, say, I have surrendered, not submitted, myself entirely to Allah. So everyone who follows me, and say to those who have been given the book and the unlearned people. So look what the Quran divide. The Quran divide the people to two kind of people: unlearned and people of the book. So what unlearned mean here? You hear me, Madara? Are you getting the point? So the Quran divide the people to illiterate and educated. The illiterate is the one who do not know the book, not the one who do not know how to write, how to read. Are we good to go? Like, did I give you enough reference, or you want more? Because we can give more, you know. It's like it's very easy actually to prove those things. All right. You know, like even in chapter 3 verse number 75, and from those people of the book, the one you can give him something and he keep it, etc., you can trust him. And then they say, oh, don't worry about those al-ummiyin, the unlearned one, the ignorant. So the Quran again divide the people to two kind: the ummiyin, which is the one do not know about God yet, and those who've been given a book, Ahl al-Kitab. Those are the people who they are the Christians and the Jews, and they are called the people of the book not because they know how to write, how to read, but because they know God. All right. So you know, I think this is very easy, very enough to prove the point that Muhammad, he was not really. The Quran never meant so. And now there is more hadith about Muhammad writing, ordering them to bring him a paper and a book because you want to write. There's tons of hadith. You can search them in the internet. There's tons of them. But I prefer always to show the people from the Quran that what the Quran speak about, that those who do not know God. Now a Muslim who says to you, okay, why you are saying Muhammad is ummi, as unlearned about God, when he was a follower of Abraham? I'm sure all of you heard Muslims saying that Muhammad is a follower of Abraham. Now, is that true? Is that true that Muhammad is a follower of Abraham? That's absolutely false. Because the Quran says, state clearly, that Muhammad did not know God, and he was a loser. No? He was lost, and Allah guided him. Allah guided him to the truth, and he do not know what faith mean. He do not know what God mean. He do not know what religion mean. Muhammad was simply a pagan person. He was a lost man, and he do not know anything about God. Like even the Arab, by the way, before I show you the verse about Muhammad, oops, we went to the Arabic one. In chapter 48 verse number 14, you will see it says, the Arab, they say, we believe. The Arab, they say, we believe. The Quran says to them, or Muhammad says to them, suppose it's the Quran, don't say we believe, say we surrender. You see the translation here about submitted is false. The correct word for translation, we surrender. Let me show you. Yeah, here they come with a translation submit, which is false again. Let us see translation of Mahsen Khan. All right, you see in Mahsen Khan here better translation. Don't say we believe, huh? Don't say that. They said the Bedouin, the Arab, the Arabian, they said we believe. Muhammad said to them, oh, no, no, come on. You do not believe, say we surrender. Why? Because Muhammad, he forced them into conversion into Islam. Those people don't believe in Islam. They don't care for Islam. And Muhammad don't care anyway. He says, don't just lie to me. He says, you believe, you don't believe, you surrender. So Islam is about surrendering, not about believing. Muhammad have no problem with you to surrender without believing. You convert to Islam, you say the Shahada, and you don't believe, it's fine. That's very fine. As you see, Muhammad here is not against them. He have no problem with those people to be Muslims without believing, as long as they surrender. And this is why, you know, like sometimes I see like Nabil Qurashi, David Wood, even sometimes brother Sam Shamoun, they used to say, I don't know if he correct himself or not, they say the word Islam means submit. That is a very bad mistake. Islam does not mean submit. Islam mean you surrender. You surrender yourself. You surrender yourself to Islam. Islam is an order. Islam is an order. The word Islam is an order to surrender, which means surrender. Like I'm ordering you now, surrender. It's not a word means surrender. It is an order of surrendering. That's why Muhammad, he sent letters to 3 kings saying to them, Aslim Taslam. Aslim Taslam, which means surrender, you will be safe. Taslam will be, you will be safe. You will not be killed. Aslim Taslam. As simple as that. Are you there, Madara? Did I answer you? I don't see many questions here. Any other question? So you know when the Muslims they say that Muhammad was Abrahamic and etc. Those things, simply it's a lie. You know, Muhammad is not a believer. Like the Quran says, وَوَجَدَكَ ضَالًّا فَهَدَى. ضَالًّا. In chapter 93, verse number 7, Allah says to Muhammad, you know, you were lost and he guided you. The Muslim, they give you the false translation. They say, and he found you wandering and he gave you guidance. What do you mean wandering? It says ضَالًّا. ضَالًّا in Arabic mean lost. Have nothing to do with wandering. And he found you unaware. What do you mean unaware? Like look how they try to fool you with the translation. What do you mean unaware? Unaware of what? Unaware of the Quran and Allah? How he will be unaware anyway if he didn't receive the Quran anyway? This is how stupid, you know, they try to fool you. If this guy never have Quran before, how he will be aware anyway? The Quran says, وَوَجَدَكَ ضَالًّا. You were lost and I guide you. Lost, totally lost. This is why always I say, don't ever trust a Muslim translation. Fabricators, liars, they will never give you a true translation. If they do, it must be my mistake. Look here, this is better translation. Look what it says. You see, even the devil make mistakes and expose himself and find you lost. What do you mean? Look what they say between the bracket. That is unrecognized by men. What do you mean not recognized, you idiot? What he have to do? What if people did not recognize me? What that have to do with lost? You see the deception? Muhammad himself was lost. If we go the same chapter and we take it to the interpretation, chapter 93, verse number 7. Let us see. All right. Look at the interpretation. How the interpretation is so different from the translation. In here, we found you wrong, erring. And didn't he found you erring, which means wrong? Which means he was following the wrong thing. And there it says not recognized by men. There's a huge difference between he was wrong in the belief and not recognized by men. You see how they deceive? Well, Muslims, you will never find a Muslim is saying the truth. It's impossible. It's against Islam. Anyway, there is many ways to prove Muslims to prove the deception of Islam, but Muslims, they take advantage because you do not know Arabic, and that will give them the upper hand. This guy, he do not know Arabic, so whatever we say to him, he will take it. Like what he know, how he can refute us. You know what I mean? How he can refute us? He cannot. What he know about Islam? So we can go around it, and we can play, and we can fabricate, and we can, However, there is a verse in the Quran. My screen is off again. Hold on. If you go to chapter 42, verse number 52. I hope the brother who asked the question is listening. It says, and thus we have we by our command sent inspiration to thee. And by the way, Muhammad never received inspiration. Inspiration is God speaking to you in your mind, not delivering to you verses by a guy saying them to you. His name is Jibreel. That is not inspiration. Very stupid Quran. Let's continue. And it says, though knowest not before what was revelation and what was faith. So what the stage of Muhammad before the Quran arrived? What the stage of him? He know not two things. He have no faith and he have no revelation. What does that mean? He's a kafir. So when the Muslim, they say to you Muhammad was a follower of Abraham, it's a big fat lie. Because if he is follower of Abraham, how you say he have no faith? Isn't it the faith of Abraham is the faith of Islam? Isn't it Abraham is a Muslim? If someone is following Abraham, as Muslims they claim, he is a Muslim. But the verse in front of us saying, that Muhammad did not know anything about any revelation from before, and he have no faith. You know not what is revelation, and you know not what is faith. Like, how strong the evidence can be more than this, that Muhammad is a kafir? We can make a topic about tourism, Madara, because I'm not really planning to stay longer than this. I wanted to share with you guys today just a thought about how to debunk the Muslims regarding the Quran. Nobody can make like it, and I believe we give enough proofs to prove this argument to be stupid and naive. Uh, so the target of doing what I'm doing is to arm you with knowledge, as simple as that. All right. Um, you can share my videos, and please don't forget to subscribe, and ask your friend to subscribe to our channel, invite more people, and let us spread the truth. All right. I'm almost doing my show every day, but usually I do it in USA time, around afternoon New York time, like sometime 4 p.m., 5 p.m. New York time, something like this, but as I said today, I wanted to share it in different times so we can have those who live in Europe or in Asia to join us. So maybe tomorrow, Madara, if I have my show running tomorrow, you can come with more questions, and everybody is welcome to bring all the questions you have. By the way, even if you're a Muslim, even if there's a Muslim, he want to come here and challenge me, I would love to take his challenge. Even we can make a live debate, live challenge, not just text. I don't like to challenge Muslims by text. Would be nicer if we do it by voice, and we show reference and proofs, and that will be very exciting, right? And you guys just sit, watch, and enjoy your popcorn, because it's going to be very nice, but for us, not for them. Do we have any comment about the topic? I think with this, we guys, we had done everything, and I want to say thank you by the way, for those who did donate for our mission. I appreciate them. We have already, I think, 28 people, and actually 28 people, including those who they are taking Arabic class, and those who they are taking the Arabic class alone. We should reach more than the $600, because the Arabic class alone should cover at least 1,000. So those who they are paying for their classes included. Anyway, I want to say thank you for everybody, even those who give $1 donation. God bless. I appreciate you, and thank you very much for your support. And I hope in the future we can do better, and we can do more. With this, I say thank you. God bless, and see you very soon again. And don't forget, if you ever miss my channel, like something happened to my YouTube, etc., underneath of the video info, there is my website, investigateislam.com, and there's our Facebook. You can click there and subscribe, so always you can be updated about any new news we have. With this, I say thanks, God bless, and see you very soon again. Bye-bye.